something from that. See what's going on.
No,
He might be.
he might just be standing out there.
You'd hear him.
Huh?
You'd hear him.
Yeah, but my client showed up 20 minutes late, so the judge just said take him into custody 1 second later.
He just pulled in.
Yeah.
He just pulled in. As soon as I called him, he just pulled in.
I almost didn't. Oh, here it is. Judge's letter, if you didn't. Do you need to look at it?
I probably got one, but I can read it real quick and read it again. Oh, I remember, yeah, I read that before on the belt. He just let him take that stuff with him. He just wanted us to
Oh, yeah.
either pay him or take it.
Okay.
Who cares if he takes it?
It's time if everyone wants
When
to
the
rise
people
and
in
remove your
there,
hats,
you just
basically.
like it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, Craig McTurn.
It's actually can we go first this time since it's all already?
Hang on, Marie, kick this off because it's a rezone request, please.
Somebody changed my chairs.
I didn't do it this time.
Somebody did that.
So this is a rezone for 8435 North, 380 West, Scipio, for Robbie, Marlene, and Suzanne Matern. This was tabled at the last commissioners meeting. Central Service did approve the rezone, and area planning did deny the rezone. And I believe Suzanne's here to discuss it, and if you have any further questions.
Okay.
I'm Suzanne Rooney. This is Rich Rooney. We live at 8435 North 380 West. We have attended multiple meetings regarding this matter and have made every effort present that comply with requirements and participate respectfully in this process. Our property consists of 17.4 acres, so more than 80% of that property is already zoned ag. We are simply requesting that the remaining 3.4 be consistent with the rest of the property. One of the challenges with the current zoning of our property is divided between two sections. We have section 25 and section 30, and I will have a map for you guys when I'm finished. But in section 25, the zoning pattern is consistent and logical with the agricultural zoning extended across the area in a continuous manner. But section 30, however, the zoning appears less consistent, with ag and residential designations intermixed, and it's very difficult to understand. There are even parcels designated as residential that contain no farms. We have no homes, but we have recently learned that these place cards, which I will show you, are not consistent, are not updated with the zoning. Many longtime residents and families in this community have lived here for decades and remember when these properties were entirely agricultural. Several neighbors have expressed confusion as to how this portion of our property even became split from ag to residential. In the first place, our use of our property is agriculture in nature. We are not operating a commercial business. We are not developing subdivisions. We are not seeking industrial use. We are simply raising food for our family and using our land in a manner that is consistent with the surrounding community. At a previous hearing, concerns were raised regarding compliance. Since that time, we have addressed these concerns. Our pig enclosure no longer in the residential area. Our peacocks and our turkeys are relocated onto the ag area. We have worked diligently with everything in compliance and addressed the issues that were raised before. Another concern has repeatedly been mentioned that we have an intent to use our property agriculturally. Well, of course we do. That is why we are here today. Anyone who petitions for rezoning has an intent to use their property. That is the entire purpose of requesting a rezoning. We are not asking for change in focus. We are not asking for zoning classification. We are asking for a rezoning classification that matches how our property is used in the character of the surrounding area. We have also had concerns and statements from a neighbor. While disagreements between neighbors can occur, zoning decisions should be based on facts, land use, ordinance, and comprehensive plan, not personal disputes or individual preferences. But I would like to address the allegations. Throughout this process, we have listened to statements suggesting that we have been difficult neighbors or that we have intentionally caused problems, and we strongly disagree. We have attempted to maintain positive relationships with our neighbors. We have offered compromise, attended many conversations, and tried to resolve concerns directly. Unfortunately, none of these efforts have gone successfully. We have experienced repeated actions that have appeared intended to interfere with our use and enjoyment of our land, and we're tired of the harassment, including conduct where we are hunting on our land and behavior that we believe is intended to disrupt those activities. We have video of harassment and our peacocks. They have complained about noise, but running the four-wheeler full throttle against the property line to get them riled up. Another factor mentioned during previous discussions was that neighboring property owner purchased this home believing that the area was residential. However, we have records show that this home was purchased by an individual before the complaints that are now under discussion. Other individuals moved in later, and accidents quit happening on that property as well. Regardless, zoning decisions should be based on the actual zoning, land use issues, comprehension plan, not assumptions made by individual property buyers. We have largely chosen not to bring this up in previous hearings because we believe that this process should yet again focus on facts, ordinances, and land use rather than personal disagreements between neighbors. However, because these allegations have been made against us, we believe it's important that the board understands there's always two sides to every story. However, our purpose here today is not to go through these disputes. Our purpose is to discuss zoning. The main facts is our property is already 17.4, with 80% of that already being ag. The surrounding area has large agricultural history. We are using our property for agricultural purposes. We have addressed previous compliance concerns and are now in compliance. The request for rezoning could create consistency across the entire property. We are asking for this decision to be based on these facts. And we have gone around and talked to all of our neighboring neighbors. We have over 43 people on our road within a mile and a half radius, if you want to pass this down, saying that a lot of them even have been here for over 50 years. This is an ag area and they believe we should be ag. And I do have quite a few people, if anybody here for us today wants to stand up, that believes that anybody would be here today for us to stand up, please. These people all are here with me today to show that we are in an ag area and support us being ag. I know some of you guys have came out, maybe you two came out and saw the property. I know you did not get to see it, you guys had a chance to talk, but you just want some of the confusion to be gone. This is just something that we were showing with the confusion. This is going to be, let me show you the map first real quick, sorry. This line right here is that imaginary section line, section 25 to section 30. It just happens to kind of line up with this road, and everything on this side, I know name cards do not tell you what the actual property is because they're not updated consistency, but just showing the confusion on this. This is right here is 0.5 acres, this is 0.23 acres, this is 0.53 acres, but it's all on the section 30. And then, of course, the further you move down, the more acreage there is. Nothing on this side is consistent. We cannot find where any rezoning was changed when this right here was 109 acres of ag, and he sold them off in sections and people built homes. I was thinking maybe they called the bank because there was no houses, they had a business opinion, bank said, okay, well, be residential to get a loan to build a house. I can't find that paperwork. I can't find anything where this was swapped from that 109 acres of ag over to residential.
Was this all one piece of property at one time?
Yeah, this was on this side of the road, it's 109 acres. Hog farm, ironically.
Marie, did you find anything about when and why this was rezoned? Oh, there you go. I thought you were over there. Stop doing that!
So I researched 71 through 87, and there was nothing in the commissioner's minutes. And I looked through the area plan minutes, but I also was told by Brad Bender that back in the day, before ordinance changes, the commissioners didn't make those decisions. It was done by area plan. Whether that was, I mean, he worked for Fuel Pettit and Bender, and he did the surveys on her property and all that. The only thing I have is in your packet, it was rezoned for ABC. What that means, I have no idea. That was done back in 77, I guess, but there's no date to tell me when that was done, why it was done. That's all it says. We have a copy of that in your packet.
So those lots was started being sold off in 77?
77, well, this is what we found on.
That was the
Yeah.
survey that was done, and then I called Chad to get a copy of the survey and see if he could, and their surveys are missing for that certain point. So that was a dead end. I mean, I keep going down rabbit holes.
We can't. We find where it was purchased in 77 and a house built in 79, and from there, we cannot find anything.
So that property was owned by another person and it was sold to Sandlands, and she purchased it from Sandland, and I researched Sandland, and there was no rezones on that either. And to confirm what she said, a lot of times the banks will make, if you live on a farm, they will make an acre of it residential because of, I guess, loans or whatever. I'm not a banker, so I can't really speak on that. But I can tell you that has happened. But what is weird about this situation is across the road, there's George Hill subdivision. It's called Hillview subdivision. And I researched that. Well, the dates don't match to their property. These are in 94, I believe. So theirs was in 77. So at what point this happened, I have no clue. But it's weird because it's just the front road side of these 4 lots, and that's it.
Yeah, you
The
want
rest of
to
it's add around
this
this behind them. So I
This
don't
is
know.
two different properties.
I researched as much as I
And that's
could
lot
to try to come up with something, and none of it's making sense. The only thing I have to go by is that on the GIS, somebody had put rezone residential for ABC. That's all I have.
It's just kind of weird. In 77, they would have, that far out in the country, they would have made that residential without.
That's why we're trying to, I asked the bank, I talked to the lady from PNC, reached out to me about it, and you guys can keep this.
We don't need it. You can keep it.
But lady from PNC, she worked back at the bank doing mortgages back in the day, and she made the same thing like we were saying. There's times that they will label a section of that as residential, so if there's a home, there's no problem.
Bank could label it whatever they want to do, but it wouldn't show up on our paperwork just from what the bank said.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
And again, it could or couldn't. I mean, that's been done before too, and the directors changed it based on what the bank has. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I have no concrete evidence of why and when. I don't have any dates. All I know is she purchased it, and then this was done in 77. I have a survey for 77, but surveys don't list your zoning on there.
All right, we've heard from you. We'll hear from the other side, I
The
guess.
only thing I want to add is a few of you were able to come out and look at the property, and, I mean, you can tell I'm not running a big event like she said or any of that, but you can also see that everything I did was put into convenience purposes for protecting the animals or the chickens or putting it close to the water source or power for convenience of keeping waters not frozen or fresh water available. It was never done in an attempt to make anybody upset or cause a problem. I mean, I feel that anybody that walks out there will see that, and I'm a reasonable man and I can make changes as well. But there's no ill will, and you can tell by what people have seen that it's a pretty nice place, and it was pretty well thought out. Maybe missed a spot, but there was no ill will attempt to what we were doing.
Okay, thank you.
Additional picture of that. Thanks.
All right, good morning, everyone. We are the neighbors to the Romans, Craig and Kendall Turner. We're here to dispute their rezoning attempt. The facts are, the property is residential. They've been non-compliant for at least 2 years. We've had multiple discussions with them over disapproval. Facts are the board, the APC board voted 5 to 9, 1 approved and 1 did not vote. Before that, I went to the Essential Services meeting. There, the Romans spoke about their attempt to rezone their property because they wanted to get a loan for a barn. And no one disputed it, and in the next sentence they say, well, they have farm animals on the residential property, and they want to keep those animals, so they want to rezone it. If you approve the rezoning, you're rewarding the Romans for disobeying the law and punishing those who follow. The facts are there are 3 neighbors out of the 5 that received the certified letters that disapprove of this change. They were at the earlier meetings, they spoke. We have other neighbors here as well that oppose it.
The other 2 didn't respond.
So, I don't feel like the Romans are taking this seriously because I still think they're not in compliance with the property that they have. They're following the old adage, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to get permission, and that's not how the law is. We've had one neighbor come to us stating that Ronnie has approached them to sign a petition. He told them he planned to have 20 to 30 hogs. Another neighbor came and said that they spoke to them for his 4-H activity that they wanted to have animals. And the APC board, Ronnie's told the APC board that the bank won't grant them the loan. Appears even the bank caught the violation because they didn't allow it. Our land was zoned this way because it's a pocket in the woods. The woods are non-tillable. Bear Creek, which is about 60 to 70 feet, runs through it. The placement of the pits raises concerns for EPA violations and creek runoff. It's known to flood. Our lawyer went all the way back to 98. It's been zoned residential. There's no sense of looking further than that. It's what it is. Last summer, they had upwards of 15 to 20 hogs, and they didn't control the odor, and that was on the residential part. We can see the pigs defecate from our daughter's playset, and so we put up the fence. We can still hear the birds going off inside of our home. They're triggered by everything we do in the backyard. We couldn't eat outside. The smell of manure, the noise, various sounds and noises from the animals. Common decency would be that you wouldn't start a farm in a residential area in the first place, nor put it so close to the property line. Common sense would be that your neighbor vocalized their disapproval of farming, you wouldn't apply to aggravate the issue. So, I purchased this property in 2014 before the Ronies. Multiple performance standards for the use of their property that violated. So, we also don't appreciate lies being spread on social media about us to garner sympathizers from other Homestead Dreamer Facebook groups. We've not engaged with those discussions. And it doesn't matter how many petitioners they get to sign in their favor. What matters is the majority of the affected neighbors object to the rezoning.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm not from here. I actually grew up on a dairy farm for the first 10 years of my life. Then my parents went and moved, and then I was surrounded by horses, cows, and crops. Okay, I don't know everything about farming, I'm not going to say that. But what I do know, and what I have witnessed my entire life, is how to take care of animals and how you manage manure waste. And I can attest that last summer, when they had their approximate 15 to 20 hogs, that manure was not taken care of. There was no lick of straw in their pan, and the smell was horrible. It was a muddy and manure-filled mess. You gotta remember, our houses are side by side like a subdivision. You've seen it, with the fence going down. They're right on our property line putting their pigs. They could have put them all the way down there, but they didn't. They put them right there. I got kids playing right here. They have more acreage than we do. We can't get away from it. I can't get, we can't get away from the smell. This has went beyond like self-sufficient homesteading. You know, this isn't having like 2 hogs on your thing for your kids to go show for 4-H or to provide for your family. This is, we want 30 hogs, and now we're going to do a wild bird and pig breeding operation. The truth of the matter is that we live too close for them to do that kind of farming and it not affect the neighbors. The other neighbor, Mr. Fazel, he attested to what the smell was. My husband bought the property before they did. They were both zoned as residential at the time. It's been like that for the last 28 years. Our lawyer went back and was like, look, that is what the facts are. And you can't impose this kind of odor and stuff on other people like that. So we just want our quality of life and our property value to be protected and for this not to be rezoned.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the, Bruce, you have something?
I'd like to share some information that I think is relevant to the issue. Regardless of your decision, I've had the opportunity to speak to both parties. And I guess the issues in my mind are, you know, the lack of quiet enjoyment for the neighbors due to the smells, the potential for disease, and the noise. And so I researched some of those issues a little bit. And when I spoke to the Ronnies, they had mentioned that there was really no waste because it just evaporated or it, you know, dissipated in one way or another. And so I researched that a little bit. And as you can see from this table, just one hog can produce 1.4 gallons of waste a day, and that's about 4,000 pounds a year. Now, there was talk about 20 hogs. That's about 820,000 pounds of waste a year. That doesn't evaporate or dissipate. And so my big concern with that is that it's not being managed properly, like a commercial hog farm, which is what it is, basically. I understand he sells the hogs to friends, neighbors, and whoever. But I'm concerned about the watershed. You know, all along that way, the ground slopes into the Bear Creek. And I know the lay of my land is very similar, and it just, when we have good rain, it's just, my driveway's a small river where all the water just drains down into the creek. So that's definitely an issue. The odors, when I spoke to Mr. Ronnie, he said there was no odor. And I explained to him, well, you know, our olfactory sense can habituate to a constant odor. And he said, no, that's just not true. He refused to accept that. Well, I did 2 years of olfactory research when I was working on my doctorate at the University of Cincinnati in the Department of Bioenvironmental Services. So it's not like I was just pulling that out of my hat. I guess some of the other issues were because the waste isn't managed properly, it's a potential for disease, both with the chickens and the peacocks and the turkeys and mostly with the hogs. And so I researched that a little bit. There's about 24 different diseases that hogs carry, and probably a dozen that are that chickens carry. And what I worry about with that is not just exposure to the surrounding homes and families, but also our wildlife population. You know, if you've got, there's about a dozen of those swine diseases that the deer are susceptible to. And as you know, Jennings County was the most affected by EHD in the past couple of years, and it's decimated our deer population. And you bring all these other diseases into a commercial hog operation that's not being properly managed, and you know, it could just compound those effects, especially if you have a weekend deer. So I don't want to take up a lot more of your time, but if you could just look over the research that I did, and there's references, you know, scientific references of studies that support all of that. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Before we get on and have a vote, I'm just going to say that I want to tell you this is one of my topics that I would consider a proverbial poop sandwich. In that I'm ag background, and I'm very passionate about farmers because somebody's got to grow the food. But I also know that there's a time and a place for those activities, and I don't know how we got to where we got. Appears no one knows how we got to where we got. But ultimately, I guess it's going to be our decision. And please don't, whichever way it goes, please don't think that anybody's thinking ill of anybody, because I've lost sleep over this. I actually thought about it from last meeting to this meeting, because you do want to promote agriculture. But it does have to be done responsibly. I see a guy back there that just keeps putting his hand up. So have you got something you want to add?
I just want to say, the young lady was complaining about the smell. If you rezone it, they can move it away from the fence.
So the problem with the reason, and I don't know how the vote's going to go. I really don't. I haven't talked to these guys. We didn't call each other this morning and say, hey, what are you thinking about this? That didn't happen, because everybody needs to form their own opinion. But the problem is, if you rezone it and you make it agricultural, then you're kind of opening it up to permit it to do whatever.
And I know you can't just take our word.
And you could sell it. So I mean,
Yes.
so you could sell it to someone else that could really make it worse.
Yeah.
So all those things have like been running around in my mind. I would absolutely love, but we have always said that the reason we have these different boards is because by the time it gets here, we're pretty much going to listen to what those other boards have said, because it doesn't do any good for it to go through the whole chain and then it comes here. And then if that's the way it's going to be, we don't even need those other boards. We just ultimately make all the decisions. And I realize it wasn't unanimous. One board voted one way, one board voted the other, one member didn't vote, one voted yes. I get it. It wasn't. So ultimately, this decision is going to fall on this board. And with that being said, any further discussion from you guys, or I'll entertain a motion one way or the other.
You got anything else you want to add to it, Murray?
I don't.
I just want to say before we vote, I do respect what you're doing. I respect people that be more self-sufficient, chickens, pig, whatever. I do respect that. I do, like Max said, I just think there's a place to do that. And with the current zoning of residential, then I would make a motion to deny the request to rezone.
I'm going to second it because of all the other boards where we've sat, and I looked at it myself, and they are in they're not in compliance where we're at. I mean,
We are now.
but I'm just saying you weren't at the time, and you know, if their house wasn't so close, I might feel a little differently. But I'm gonna go ahead and second that motion, Matt.
And regrettably, because like I said, you could throw anything into the mix and I could go either way, but I'm going to make it unanimous just because, one, it was out of compliance, and two, it's already been through the other boards. So three, it really just made no sense for me to go the other way. I hate it. I would help you any way I could if you want to come to my farm
Can you
and
tell us how to appeal?
You'll need to consult an attorney
Okay.
for that.
And I would like to add though that, I mean, technically, the rest of your farm that's zoned agricultural,
They're already there, and, yeah, it's gonna make things worse for others, but we've already talked to DNR and everything, we got everything situated, so we
All right.
appreciate your time.
I hate it for you guys, I really do. I mean,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Questions to Maria from here, or?
That'll be something that you can take up with Marie.
That's,
It'll be down to an attorney if they want to do something now.
I'm speaking about the complaint we filed, and then.
Sir, I'll deal with that as soon as this was over, okay? I'll handle
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Let's do there. Let's go.
Do you have another request? Do you have another rezone from Marie, or you were just?
No, this was it.
It was just
This was
the
the only
same.
Okay. All right, thank you everybody for coming and that was related to that issue. Next up, Renee, is it Gross, tornado sirens?
I do want to make one thing clear about the guy that spoke about the hog diseases.
Yeah.
I don't want everybody thinking that there's pigs next to you that you're going to die from those. None of those are going to be transmitted to any humans, just so you know. I mean, he made it sound like it was bad news if you live next to one, and that's not the case.
And I personally also have chickens, so if the chickens carry all the diseases, I'd already been dead, so I don't think.
I don't want my phone blowing up today when everybody's going to die of all these 12 diseases.
Okay. Next up, Nikki.
Do we want?
Okay.
In your package, you should
Yeah.
have one
Do this
travel
real quick.
request. This is from area plan for ABC to the inspector to attend some training on July 16th. All expenses to be paid out of the ABC training and education fund.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Unanimous.
That's all I have.
Thank you, dear. So, Alex just reminded me that Britt, I guess, and Jerry were asked to come to speak on the tornado siren issue. So if one and or both of you would like to step up and take the reins and let the public know what the issue we had was.
Sure. I mean, they're still investigating, but it was obvious an electrical failure. And, I mean, it was damaged. Not a failure as in electrical, like we had electrical damage. I don't know much else to say.
Tornado strike. Or, oh,
Lightning strike.
Heavens no. Lightning strike, I mean,
tornado strike?
Could have been a tornado.
it was storming, and we have a 100-foot tower behind the building. It, tornado sirens fried, 2 battery backups, 3 pieces of vital equipment don't go down at the same time typically unless there's an electrical surge. So I know there's a lot of online outrage and I sympathize, but you can't do anything about that. No testing, and you do test. No maintenance, no personnel there. It just, 3 pieces of equipment fried. And like Gary said, we're not the only county, and it happens all around. Right now, phone lines are down, frontier issue. I mean, I'll entertain any questions. I was really kind of hoping I would.
What can I ask as well?
Sure.
Okay.
So yeah, the
Yeah.
testing process, Cody brought that up. It is scheduled on Mondays. It's a quiet test. So, I mean, Jerry's seen it in action. We send out a signal to the sirens, and they basically do 1 rotation and a real small, brief audio burst. Cody said he would actually mimic the burst. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, I mean, it's.
Can you come to the podium? I didn't really know all that.
I didn't either.
So yeah, it's just a real brief test, and it gives us a report back. Since it does have a little audio, we don't do it if there's a forecast of storms. But I mean, it's done regularly. The full test happens when the state does the tornado drill, which is typically in April or May, and we did it this year.
And there weren't any issues on that
There were
statewide
not.
test?
No, there were not.
So when was the last test as related to the storm where we realized the failure?
The last full quiet test was 2 weeks before. I was on vacation the week before. So it was not tested the week before.
But it's routinely tested
It
every
is.
week,
Absolutely.
correct?
Yes.
And just so I guess for the public's knowledge, the tornado sirens is not as I understand it, it's not the preferred way to get notice to the public about an impending weather event. Is that correct?
You will not find a single expert in meteorology, EMA, 911. You will not find a single expert that says tornado sirens should be relied upon. First of all, they're limited. They're not designed for indoors at all. Outdoors, best case scenario is a 2-mile radius from the siren. I actually have some stats for you. That covers about that covers about 150 square miles of Jennings County. Best case scenario. We have Jennings County's 378 square miles. So you've got a full 60% of Jennings County that's not covered by sirens. It is not and never has been the primary alerting system.
And the sirens are primarily, the best way I can put it, if I'm at the Ball Diamond, the siren goes off, it's telling me get the heck inside, correct?
Right.
It's
And it
not
doesn't
to
say that,
warn
right?
me inside to go inside, it's for the people outdoors.
It is correct.
It's not meant for you to hear in your living room.
I
Right.
just had this conversation Tuesday with a meteorologist that I'm working with, and Jerry's working with for a proposal. It doesn't even tell you that. The sirens were designed for the Cold War. It just tells you, hey, something's going on. You need to go figure out what it is, right? Now, we use it for tornadoes. Most people are used to, if we hear that, it's a tornado. But what if it is a test? You're at the Ball Diamond, it's a sunny day out. There could still be a tornado warning. You just don't know it. Oh, it's a test. People ignore it anyway. And I'm not discounting it. It has a mission, but it is not the primary form of alerting.
And so what's and I'm not trying to take this over, I'm just, there's a lot, as you said, there's a lot of comments on Facebook about this. What's the protocol for when the sirens go off? Is it just thunderstorm warning, tornado watch, what is it?
It's actually a really simple protocol. Tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service or law enforcement weather spotter confirmed tornado. So if Cody radios in and says, hey, I've got a tornado on the ground, Lovett Road, we'll sound the sirens. But outside of that, no. Just tornado warnings or law enforcement weather spotter confirmed siren. And it's just, again, going back to Facebook comments, extremely simple procedure. You can come in my office and I can teach you in 1 minute to set them off because it's 2 buttons. You take a safety button off, then you click the sirens.
So, can I make a suggestion, and you tell me if you think it's a stupid idea?
Absolutely.
Rather than just set it as, we're gonna check it like every Monday, and then like when you go on vacation, it doesn't get checked. To me, it would make more sense that, hey, I'm getting these weather reports 2 or 3 days out now of these impending storms. Why don't we, when like Jerry or whoever gets notified that there's a chance that one of these storms could produce severe weather, why don't we check it just a couple of days prior to that storm, rather than just having a set Monday? And then also, if you're going to leave on vacation, why don't we go ahead and train Jerry or whoever that we can be sure that that thing is getting tested every time that it's supposed to? Is that a stupid idea?
I don't think it's a stupid idea at all.
Dave, yes.
Madison does it every Sunday at noon. Every Sunday they test it and it lasts about 15 seconds. So I don't know if that's something you guys can do.
Yeah, and again, we do. We don't do the full
Right.
activation.
Right.
Yeah, it's that noise that Cody made. That.
Right.
Well, and to be fair, to Dave's point, Madison had issues with their sirens last week as well. So this is not just a Jennings County issue.
I can speak to that. I put these sirens in, a long time ago. Put 6 in, put 6 more in. So in the district I work in, we have 12 counties, and that's our area. When something happens, it usually goes to that county. Something always happens like this, and it happens every storm. There's something loose, lost to a lightning strike, power surge, or whatever. Something takes out some equipment. That's just how Mother Nature deals that to us, and we work through that. This time, it took out the link between his office and the sirens. There's no way to prevent that, predict that. The only thing you can do is respond to it once you find out what happened. So in this instance here, everybody did what they were supposed to do. Police, him, everybody did what they were supposed to do, and the system failed. Immediately, he gets IT tech in and working on it, fixed it. He's got a temporary fix. It's not a long-term solution, but it will be. So it's just one of those things that happens with storms. It's like yesterday, Jefferson County, the Verizon phone service was down. So that's just something that we deal with technology in today's world. The sirens have a place, I think, and when I put those, intentionally I put one by Walmart for the park. I put one at the fair because if we're having the fair, they need to hear. So around the schools, maybe. So that's kind of where these 12 are at. It's just the nature of what we do that technology is going to fail. No matter what we do, if we do everything right, and a lightning strikes our tower, you're dead in the water for a little bit.
And that you said that system failed, but you have other systems. You have the text messages that go out to people that subscribe to that. So you reached out to a lot of people. I mean, that one worked. That one.
There's so many ways to get notifications
Right.
in today's world, other than the sirens, because they're for out there use. And we're working on a project now that some of the counties are going to, for all the residents in the county to have notification. And it's a pretty good program. We'll get that together and come talk to them. It's really inexpensive.
I was gonna
got
say,
5 phone calls that night.
so mine had the big,
Statement.
I had the big yellow exclamation point message. Beep, 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 beep. Did everyone else not have that? That had a cell phone? I mean, I thought they did.
It's constant, and when that first started happening, we were getting 8, 10 calls a night, each of us. So, it just goes on and on, all night, when things like this happen. In some people's lives, that probably makes a difference if you're asleep and the thing goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're in the area.
And that brings up a great point. That is one of the primary alerting systems. That is at the federal level, and that will warn you. I think you and I had a conversation. Our biggest issue in the county, and really in the state, I think I'm accurate in this, is flooding. It is the most dangerous, it takes the most lives, and it's the most unpredictable. You will get that alert for a flood warning. I don't set sirens off for a flood warning. That all around is the best solution. And I don't know the statistics, but I see 5-year-old kids running around with a cell phone anymore, so I think we all have one.
My 5-year-old does not.
Tight wad, that's because he's too tight wad.
He's getting one for he's getting one for his.
And he won't until he's 13.
Oh, I thought he was getting one for his 6th birthday.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'll bet his wife overrules him.
No, she doesn't. Not on that. So, real quick for the public, how can folks enroll in those text and phone call alerts that wake me up at 3 in the morning?
I published a flyer on the Facebook page. I can send those out to anyone. You can scan a QR code or there's a text message option.
And you got two, it's like Matt said, if we know next week what's gonna happen, it's gonna be really hot, and then the weather's gonna change. We start sending out those links, those flyers on Facebook, that you just scan it and you're signed up, you get in and do the work, and we pass it out to fairs, we pass it, it's everywhere.
As far as the main weather alerting on your phone, that is an option on any modern cell phone. It's the WEA alert under your settings. You should turn that on, and it's location based, so you could, like me when I was on vacation, I got an alert when I was on vacation from a thunderstorm warning. So
Only other thing I know we could do any difference is tell Cody he has to come in and roll his window down and drive out around the county with his head hanging out and go, whoa!
he's good at it.
I think that's great, I know, like once a week.
All right, we appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, Austin, transport vehicle. Take 2.
The last meeting, I expressed that we needed 2 new vehicles for the jail division. You guys said that you wanted me to get brand new vehicle quotes as well as the trade-in values of the ones that we currently are expecting to trade in. So let's start off with the 2018 Dodge Ram. It looks like the trade-in value is, as expected, about $2,000. And the 2015 Dodge Ram van is a $1,500 trade-in value, so not too much there, unfortunately. But I did get a couple of quotes from Russ Hubler, and actually David Kubitsky is here, if you guys would like to speak to him upon that. We got a quote in for the brand new 2027 Chrysler Pacifica. It looks like the amount that would need to be paid is $39,861. The odometer is set at the default of 15 for that one. The 2025 Chrysler Pacifica, looks like the amount needed for that is $34,823.50. It's got all-wheel drive, new tires. That one's not brand new. It's got 33,585 miles on it. And then the SUV that we quoted, was actually a 2026 Dodge Durango Pursuit. What I understood talking to Dave is that's actually going to be cheaper than a base Durango, even though it's a Pursuit version. That's odometer rating of 15, and the amount needed for that was $38,979. And that all depends on what we use to trade in. That could give or take a little bit depending on which van that we use to trade in for that. So at this time, it would be nice if we go ahead and just get both brand new vehicles minus the 2025 Chrysler Pacifica. So we could proceed with the 27 Chrysler and the 26 Dodge Durango.
That's a 27 Durango. No.
That's a 27 Durango?
27 Durango, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the paper says 26, so I apologize.
Sorry.
What was we doing the funding now, this Matt, you remember?
So are these additional vehicles from what we had in the bond for you? These weren't covered in the bond?
The bond was all law enforcement vehicles for the patrol side. So the jail, just speaking a little bit on that, the jail, the last time these were purchased, were they purchased new?
They were purchased by a driver.
Okay. So I don't believe that they were technically new. No. But they were, we use the transport vehicles more than what people actually probably understand we do. A lot of, it's just from there to the courthouse, there's a lot of stopping and traffic, but they'll go several states away for non-sports. They get ran through the ramp, and we try to maintain them the best we can, to just keep. I've had.
We're not arguing that you need them,
We're just wondering where's the fund, we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get, if you had a idea on the funding, or we gotta figure it out, or.
I couldn't even tell you how we purchased these 8, 9 years ago. It's been so long.
So I know one of them could be paid for, which is a topic probably for later, but you've had discussions, I guess, with Marie and her vehicle. You had a vehicle in the bond, correct, Marie?
Yes.
And she's just gonna have some repairs done to hers because it's still low mileage. So we could,
It was 40,000.
so that would cover
One of them.
one. And then I guess let's approve it and then send them to the council and
Just send
figure
a
out.
contingent on the council funding, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I use 2,000 of that for my repair?
Yes.
Yes, because there's gonna be more room left on there.
So,
I'll make a motion to approve both, take one out of the bond and send the other one to council contingent on their funding.
Second.
unanimous. Thank you. Did he pass you something? I thought I seen it.
No.
I don't know.
No, I put it up here in this
Not passing
pile.
notes today.
So the letter from the judge, did everyone look at it?
You want me to summarize it for the viewing public?
Please do.
Okay. So Judge Smith in Superior Court sent a letter to the commissioners. 17 years ago, he purchased a desk in Credenza with his own funds. Beautiful desk, desk in Credenza, by the way. Paid $700 out of his own funds. He requested reimbursement at that time. Was apparently told no funds were available. In 2017, he purchased a new desk chair with county funds. He's been using the chair for almost 9 years. He's asking commissioners to consider reimbursing him for the $700 spent on the desk in Credenza, or make a trade for the office chair. And I'm quoting, I just have to. To be honest, after sitting in the chair for 9 years, it has broken in to fit me well. I would rather have the chair than the cash. So, and I can just picture Judge Smith saying that right now.
I
So,
can do.
anyway, so that's what this letter is. It's
You summarized that in a way that only you could do.
I try.
You did that justice.
Thank you very much.
So we're trading chair for cash.
I guess.
So wait a minute. So if we let him have the chair when he retires,
Yeah.
he's going to leave us the desk.
That's how I understand it. Yes.
So we're trading a chair that has been set in for close
9
to
years.
close
Yeah.
to 10 years. I don't really see where that's a problem. I mean, we give retiring sheriffs their service revolver. Why would it be an issue to give the retiring judge his chair?
Do the sheriffs still have revolvers?
No.
You just dated yourself. Really bad.
Honestly, one did. One did have a revolver. Was it
Not since I've been.
Was it Hop? I think Hop had a revolver. I might be wrong. I think he
Possible.
I think he might.
It's been a few years.
But I am dating, so it is what it is. I have a revolver.
I'm gonna make a motion to trade the chair for the desk.
A second.
Unanimous.
speed limit ordinance and the unofficial detour.
Yeah.
So at the last meeting, there was discussion of, or a request for a speed limit ordinance on 800 north, or I'm sorry, 400 north. No, 800 north. I've got the title wrong, but that's okay. For a speed limit ordinance on 800 north between 200 north 200 east and north base road, to reduce that speed limit to 40 miles per hour. There's an ordinance in front of you to do that. And to be clear, the title is wrong, but it's East County Road 800 north, not 400 north.
Do I have a motion to approve that speed ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Unanimous. Do you have that?
It's in your blue folder.
Your blue folder. Okay.
You know about this unofficial detour more than I do, right?
It's
You
just,
okay with it, right?
yeah, we just need to okay it if we've already approved the roads.
And then there's an unofficial detour request from NDOT that needs approval for when State Road 3 south of Vernon is going to be shut down for a little bit next year. I believe it's close to the
650 south.
And I will add to that there's just not a good way to go through there.
There's
That's the
not.
best we can come up with.
Yeah, so the unofficial detour for this will be 600 south to 300 west to 310 west to 850 south, that's Comiskey Pike, isn't it? And then Comiskey Pike back to State Road 3 will be the unofficial detour.
I'll make a motion to sign.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
We'll have to, what's that other, we'll have to watch that cover bridge.
Mhm. There's just not a good way to go through there. We've looked at,
But it's somebody will.
I know it's gonna be bad.
Well, it'll be close there where you go to get on, unless they.
It's right there at that intersection? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes. The 650 south takes you to that.
So the only way they could is if they was coming
The other
north or
way.
south and tried to come in right there. But
Well, they probably haven't. They go, well, they used to go down your driveway when they had the church closed out there, so
Send that down
you don't need to be
Very good.
signed by us,
there.
does it?
No, just give it to Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila probably needs it, I guess, yeah.
we don't have to sign it.
No,
I
just
think
Matt.
it's Matt on that one.
So who's the notary in your office? I mean, can I just sign this and they notarize it later? This is the library board that we approved last time.
I am. I'll do it.
So you're gonna witness me signing this really
Yeah,
quick?
and I'll stamp it later.
Okay.
I don't have my stamp with me.
While you're signing that, Matt, I have, I told you a week or so ago, we had an animal control board appointment needed.
Right.
I found one, Roger Robinette. I'd like to put him on there unless you guys have a option.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'll make it a motion.
I'll second.
Unanimous?
Who's he replacing?
Smith.
Mark Smith.
Mark Smith. I have his phone number. I'll give it to you after the meeting.
So. Fox in here?
No, I think he was at the jail meeting. He just called me right before the meeting and wanted me to bring that Dunlap renewal. And I did go back and look, and it did not increase in price. We pay the same price now as the renewal, $832 a month or whatever it is.
So this is for Dunlap to inspect the 23 air handlers, 2 boilers, 1 cooling tower, and 6 pumps on a yearly basis. It's a renewal contract, $882 a month. No increase from last year. Any further discussion or motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's $882 a month.
$882 a month, total investment $10,584 a year.
They inspect them every month.
They do the
Wait a minute,
filters. They
wait a
do
minute.
it.
Oh, okay.
It's the whole program. It's
Oh, that also
really good.
counts draining the tower for the winter, which
They take care of the whole system for that.
that was a pretty big deal before we had the maintenance agreement. So.
Yeah, it's a good deal. They catch a lot of stuff and get stuff ahead of time too.
I'll second.
Unanimous. I'm just gonna sign the bottom of this proposal because it didn't actually come with a contract unless you got one and I don't know about it. Fairgrounds request for event.
I received a notification from the sheriff's department, and they're wanting to plan the National Night Out event on Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Cody, do you want to speak to it?
Yeah. So last year we began doing the National Night Out. It's kind of a nationwide event. Right before everybody goes back to school, kids come out, families come out. We usually have hot dogs, drinks. We'll have kind of a touch truck, ambulance is there, sheriff's department vehicles is there. We had a helicopter last year. We're hoping this year's gonna be a little bit bigger. Last year we struggled because we didn't have any restrooms out there. We just want access to the community building for the restrooms. We didn't have any inside access last year to that. So that's kind of what we're doing.
You didn't have access to the one there by the community building?
All those were locked up at that point.
So can we open those up and that would
I'd be
suffice?
fine with that.
I'd say they're not
We have
win-
access for-
They're not gonna be winterized by then, so it'd be good for you to use those right there.
It bothers me when we spend $127,000 on a new bathroom when you tell me you didn't have bathroom access.
Yeah, that's why I can't believe they didn't let you have that one
That's
last
why I
year.
gave you one of these.
You're talking about the one far back or?
It doesn't make any difference.
Either one of them.
There's bathrooms out there you could have utilized it.
Yeah.
Somebody should have just.
The ones outside are all locked up, so that's. as long
Say
as
we don't,
have access.
they don't even winterize those till about October, so.
Just be sure you get a key before the event from now on. so you
We're just
can-
wanting to use the parking lot, like we did last year, and then just have access.
Touch base with one of us before that happens and we'll make sure Fox has got it open.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll send you a message just so you.
Thanks.
AOD policy.
I had sent something to Alex to review. It's not in your packets, it's just, he had asked me at the last meeting to give him some type of information on what we needed to do, what was being done.
Not ready to address
I
that
just
yet.
wanted him to
No,
look at it.
because it came through at 10:30 last
Right,
night. I
came
haven't
late
had a
last
chance
night,
to
and I
review
sent
it.
that to him. Right.
So put that one on the agenda for next time.
We can take it.
So does anybody in the crowd have anything else? Nothing?
Oh, actually, I did.
Okay.
I want to circle back around to tornado sirens, just to make it clear that even with the temporary solution, some of them may not. It was a radio that I could spare. It's not designed for it, so it's not as powerful. I mean, we may still have some failures until they get the main radio back. So I'm getting high expectations on the temporary fix. Is what I'm getting at.
Did you have a time frame on the new radio coming?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a replacement, so it may be a few weeks. And they, no, so the answer is they do not have a time frame yet. It is at the Motorola factory.
So it's not something that we can just buy anywhere and have it like the next day, even if it costs more money?
When I call it a radio, it's actually a repeater. It's a much more powerful version of a radio that takes in a radio signal and spits it out even more powerful on a different frequency, so.
So unlike Cody's version, it gives it back.
I realized that here, I did not make that clear when I spoke.
Yeah, okay. All right. No one else has anything, we'll go on to the boring stuff.
We need to.
One thing real quick, sorry, just to jump back to the hog situation. I was one of the signatures that the Romneys had obtained. My situation is pretty similar, and maybe this isn't the place to ask.
who do I talk to with my zoning and
Marie.
Marie? Okay, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. So, go ahead, Charlie.
Do we need to do anything about last week's recycle event?
As far as,
Asking for funding.
so the funding for that should just be paid, when the bills come in, they should just be paid out of that recycling, that money that we have at the recycling center.
Where we took the paving from.
Yes, it should just come out of it. And it shouldn't be an exorbitant amount of money either. We're talking, I'm guessing, between the tires, the refrigerated unit, the refrigerated units it's not a given on it because you don't know how many you're gonna get. It's like $15 per, and I don't know how many they got. And then the tires was paid for by a grant from the health department, so we won't pay for the tires.
So they got that same grant again.
They got
we
that same
last
grant
year.
again, so the only thing we're gonna pay for are the big dumpsters and the per ton charge, and we, of course, you might know, we had the big event, and then that night we got the huge thunderstorm, so we added tons of water into every dumpster, so we're gonna pay a little bit more because we're paying to get rid of water that were in the dumpsters, but
Well, that was a good event. Those
It
dumpsters
was.
were
It-
full. There was a lot of tires taken in. There was,
That tile thing's a really good deal.
I think it'll help cut down, hopefully, in the future, if we can continue to do, possibly look at doing 2 of those a year if we can afford it. I think it'll help Marie's situation, I hope, but I don't know.
it was good.
Yep, all right, great. So,
Now, if we could get a heads up about a couple of months before, I could send those out.
I called you the day before,
Yeah. Well, like
at
this.
10:30 at night.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, last year Peggy come quite a bit before and kind of publicized it here that
So
you probably
thi-
should have
So
done it
this,
again.
this one was kind of an accident because I was working on putting the event together and actually had called the tire guy about getting the tire trailers, and he goes, well, you know, Peggy from your health department just called me yesterday and said she had a grant, so I didn't even know about her grant. So we were able, because of an accidental phone call between a mutual person, to be able to correlate it. So it kind of was strange, but I think if we start now planning for the next one, it maybe will go more smooth, but I am kind of tickled as the way it went for a last second thing, putting it together. I mean, it's really well
Some of the
received.
volunteers were the people that worked out there did a good job getting people through, and
Yep. Yep.
it worked good.
Do we want to address any of the policy changes that were discussed in the executive session for AOB? Some of those things will not change until you guys okay the change.
Huh? Which one specifically are you talking about?
I was never asked to draft anything.
I was gonna say, I think we probably need to talk.
I don't
about
think
it.
at this time we're ready for that. I think,
Okay,
I
well,
think,
and that's why I brought it up, because we
Yeah.
just talked about it in the executive session, but like,
I-
the holidays and stuff.
I maybe misunderstood what what was going on, but I thought after that meeting, you guys was supposed to get us a list together, present it to us, and then we'd make the changes. I guess I didn't understand how that was gonna work.
I just thought we would discuss.
I mean, because we don't exactly know what you need.
Right.
If you don't tell us what's gonna make it work, I mean, I don't know how we can make the change.
Did we send that to you and Alex so you can draft something out?
Well, I think we all need to look over it, yes.
Okay.
is that all? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve prior minutes.
I'll make a
Can I
motion.
ask one question about the, you're wanting to do another one?
Hang on, can we, there's a motion on the table, can we approve that motion before we move on?
I'll second.
Unanimous. Okay, now go ahead.
Do you know when you are wanting to do another one of those tire events? Or-
No.
Okay. You said 2 a year. Are you planning on doing one before the end of the year again? That was just my question.
I would like to, but as late as what we had this one, I don't know if we can squeak another one in before bad weather gets here or not. I'm gonna have to look into it. Actually, honestly, I want to look at the numbers first too, so I can see how many tons we took in and what the cost was.
Say what it actually cost us.
Yeah. So,
Maybe we could shoot for September if we get,
yeah,
if it works out.
right. Okay, next up, do I have a motion to approve payroll and claims?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Unanimous.
There are two sets of minutes. The original meeting and the joint meeting.
And I never did prepare executive session minutes, so we'll do that next time.
I thought about it earlier in the week and then,
Yeah.
Did anyone here get anything on a notification on John Jennings? Are they having a retirement party for him at the
It's tonight.
It's tonight?
Tonight, 6 p.m. It's got,
I didn't know he retired.
So I'm gonna say so, and I don't know who wants to take this bull by the horns, but it needs to be somebody other than me. Because I'm not organized enough to pull these off, I'll be the first to tell you. I've asked Marie to do it in the past, but her plate's full too. We need to be sure that we're honoring our employees that retire with a plaque or whatever, and if nothing else, definitely a letter from all three commissioners signed that, you know, we appreciate their service or whatever, but sometimes I guess that's falling through the cracks, like people are retiring and then like fully retired and they're gone and then we don't know about it, and it's like, if I wouldn't have just heard a rumor that he was having some kind of retirement thing, I wouldn't even have known his event was tonight.
So I just got an email on it yesterday. I think it come from Tracy.
So I don't know if someone wants to figure out how to make that process work better, but I don't want someone that's worked here for 30 years to retire and then not feel like they were.
The first day would be at the department head to send it out, and then send it to all employees, and then they'll have it.
So how do we go about, like,
hang on, Matt, I thought it was June 26th. That's right.
That's
Tomorrow,
tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
okay,
It's been a week of Monday for me, so I do apologize.
no problem.
Good catch, Rick. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for that. Yeah, the one.
I just had Nikki at the next department head meeting bring it up to the department heads if they need to notify us.
I remember when you are.
I'm not forgetting anything.
Matt passed me his agenda, what they do.
There's one you don't sign for every day. County health insurance.
You gotta close your eyes when you sign that one.
Ooh, boy. Anybody else got anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Matt, you got the minutes down there? I don't think we signed any minutes. We don't
I
have
don't
it.
have them.
Unless I didn't remember seeing it.
I thought you guys had them and was passing them this way.
I thought the one was, and then I opened it up and it wasn't, so.
So you guys want to hear a funny story while we're waiting on the minutes? At my expense. You don't want to hear it? You're gonna love it. It's almost
Has it got
as funny
something to do
as
with
Cody's.
your? Has it got something to do with your bandage?
It does. So like, all of you that know, I fell out of my skid loader the other day and ran the bolt for the cutting edge into my wrist, okay? Bad enough, right? So last night my wife fell asleep early because she hadn't been feeling well, so I'm trying to bandage this myself at like 11:30 last night because you change the bandages every day. So I put the stuff on it and I'm bandaging it. And I'm trying to hold this stuff while I'm cutting with scissors. And they were those small scissors that aren't meant for people with big fingers. And the scissors slipped out of my hand and stuck right in the top of my foot. So I'm bandaging my hand, and now I've stuck the scissors in the top of my foot. And then my wife wakes up and she comes in and she goes, "You need help with something?" I said, "No, I think I got it." Only me, right?
That's what I was thinking.
But anyways, I'm still alive.
Did you have to bandage your foot after it was over? Did it?
No, I just poured some peroxide on it with the band. Peroxide and Band-Aid, here we go. Oh, good Lord.
Always something weird's gotta happen.
But my mom was convinced that the reason I fell out of my skid loader was because of my shoes. She didn't like my shoes. So my mom, 80 years old, drives to town to buy me a new pair of shoes. A pair with really aggressive soles on the bottom. And she hands them to me, and I was like really busy. And 4 times yesterday, 4 times, she looked me up to see if I had put those shoes on yet. And so when I finally put the shoes on sometime yesterday late afternoon, I took a picture of them and sent it to her so she could see that I was finally wearing the shoes. Because my wife informed me that it was very rude that I didn't put them on immediately. And I was like, I didn't fall on my skid loader because of my shoes. I fell because I'm old. It's awkward getting in and out of it. And the bucket was slick. It didn't have anything to do with my shoes.
Are those your new shoes?
No, these are my good shoes.
Cody, just a heads up, Deer Creek Road should be open Friday. If you guys would have to go through there for some reason or another, they're gonna pave it today, and hopefully that bridge will be ready to go. Looks really good.
On the detour for next year on that 3 South, is it too early to really work on no truck ordinances for that?
I think we should just do it every time we do one.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking.
Instead of waiting until we have a problem and then doing it.
Right. And I'm not saying we're gonna do it this year.
I'll put it on the list.
I believe Decatur County, they just stick it on as soon as they come up with one,
Yeah.
and theirs a lot steeper than ours, like 2,500.
I was somewhere around here, it was 1,000, a different county, I don't know what county.
Hey, I'm all about it. If you guys
I
want
mean,
to
it's my opinion, I think we should up the fine because they just laugh at ours. They just keep going through
Well,
it.
it's not, everywhere that we've cited people under the local ordinance, it's so well displayed. They're not, they cannot say they don't see the signs.
Right.
That's the aggravating part is whenever we do catch them on these new truck routes, is they can pass the 3 signs. That's the aggravating part. And to them, these multi-million-dollar companies, $500 is nothing.
That's what I think. I mean, I think we need to make it stiffer and just see if it
That's,
is.
I mean, I'm not be better than you guys.
I mean, the one 2 years ago coming out of Madison, I think I counted 4 signs on the highway prior to getting up here, and they were still moving barricades out of the road and scrapping the road that we just fixed this year. Had the money to get it done. Lucky somebody didn't get killed on that one.
And then you get all the phone calls we get is, you've got to do something. We did the no truck ordinance, we've got the signs up, we notified the sheriff's department to write tickets. We've got to do something.
Well, you don't get the calls about all the highways being shut down at the same time, I do.
Yeah, you probably get plenty of those.
You should get those.
I should.
You should. I agree.
Oh, you got that underneath this one.
Because you know how I feel about that whole issue, so.
I think you know how I feel about that whole issue.
That one.
2005. She said it was black. I called her yesterday and spoke to her.
What was it for, Matt?
Supposedly we gave the city a trailer in 2005. I don't know what year.
For a long time.
It's dated to 2005. I don't remember giving them a trailer.
She said they
So
had
when
all the paperwork, like where it was purchased, with your guys' signatures on it.
Okay, cool. So I just need
How
to
long ago was it dated?
I don't know, but they just didn't have the title.
not every day.
And I did check with Nikki, and it's not been on the insurance, so.
What year was that? That's what it seems like it was something else we said we had to do, but I can't remember what it is.
That's what I was sitting here thinking.
At the fairgrounds, then.
I'm gonna leave the date blank since I don't even know what year we gave it away.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll let you guys figure that out. So now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Unanimous. Thank you all for coming.
Sorry, a lot of things I forgot.